Shalom. First thing and foremost, I'm going to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders, the apostles, a great millstone that rule well. Peace and blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Those in this gospel abroad, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is another lesson through the Spirit titled, yes, the Most High is very ethnocentric. Okay, ethnocentrism is is a very accurate statement, all right? In this world, they teaches you that this is a very bad thing, okay? But yet, when it comes to the hierarchy of races and nations, starting with the small hats, Amalek, they seem to be the only ones that can have this ethnocentric mindset, meaning that they are superior race than everybody else. But on a lower level, like when you go to these schools and college institutions and these jobs, it's all witchcraft. It's all blatantly brainwashing you, man. And it's coming inspiration because I was texting a friend of mine, and they was like in training. And I saw this word on the computer, show you how the spirit works, man. They sent me this, they sent me a picture and they're like, I'm in training. And Jake is very attentive to detail, so I zoomed in. I said, ethnocentrism, huh? I'm like, okay, yeah, that's a lesson right there, because we know ethnos goes into nations, Genesis, right? You go into the book of Revelation, the 7th chapter, when it goes into nations or tribes, the Greek word there is ethnos, so this is the spirit. But I was reading the definition, which we understood what it meant, but it basically stated that how they believe that other people were superior and other races are superior than everybody else's, and that's not a good thing. So in this society, they teach you, which is off as hell, they teach you that being on equal footing at the same time is a noble thing, and having an ethnocentric mindset is bigotry because you think you're better or you think your race is above everybody else. But what proves that is the truth is because, look at our people. Okay, even within our folly, within our fall, within the curses being put upon us, we still are the most sought after and the most talked about nation on the planet Earth. Okay, because even niggas being wicked, yet nobody can still top our talents, which proves right there that we are a superior race of people. And Esau knows that, and this is why he pushed this whole Marxist bullshit and this whole Epicureanism in these institutions. Like when you go to job and work, all that training shit you do in school and on a job is all really set up to brainwash you, man. Okay, and the first thing I was like, man, this looks like it. And I didn't even break it down because the spirit was on me. But I said, this is some straight fucking indoctrination bullshit they teaching y'all, man, because they teach you that everybody is equal bullshit. But if that was the case, then why do you have classes in society, man? Okay, why is Jake the bottom race and why does everybody else get above Jake if they really believe this shit? So when somebody teaches ethnocentrism is bad, then ultimately they're basically brainwashing. They're telling you that they're basically keeping you below a degraded level, so to speak. They're telling you that you don't have no right to think that your race is superior to everybody else's, when in fact fucking Esau thinks he's superior. But it's a problem when the average common person thinks this, which shows you this place is nothing but fucking hypocrites, man. Okay, so the word ethnocentrism, it reads, it says the attitude that one's own group, ethnicity, or nationality is superior to others. Now the scriptures backs this point up because we're gonna get the precepts. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai has chosen Israel, you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, all right, and you Jakes that scattered abroad that may look like other nations. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai has chosen us as his people. So by default, this makes us better than you people because we actually have the God, or we have the power of the universe. That's our power. And you other nations, you don't have that. So therefore, by default, we fucking better than you. And the Lord has put the talents in us to prove that, because you can't beat us in fighting. You can't beat us in dancing. You can't beat us in sports. Okay, you outweigh us. We outthink you 7 to 10, or 10 to 1, and yeah, you got what they called, what is it? It's called, shit, I forgot. It's the word the elder brother Rakaya Kwam from the UK uses. It's something racism. he used. Not systematic, not systemic racism. It's something called something racism, man. You know, when they put these particular programs and numbers and statistics together to prove that we are an inferior race to everybody else. But in fact, they have to do that because we are in fact superior. You know, but we're smarter than you. We academically excel higher than a lot of you when we're put in a proper environment. And you know that because for simple fact, you've given yourself the cheat code. You know, if you didn't think that Israelites were superior to every other nation, especially you, Esau, you wouldn't have set us up in certain conditions to destroy us to say you were better. Okay, a Jake that's born up in the Robert Taylors in Chicago, the projects, versus a Edomite that was born in Evergreen Park or Oak Lawn or, you know, Sauk Village or Beverly Hills. You have all the resources, you have the fundings, you have the adequate foods, you have the family structure, versus we were growing up in the projects. So you give yourself the cheat code to be better than us because you know that we're better than you in every way. So anybody that's teaching that ethnocentrism is a bad thing, then essentially there ain't nothing but that's a fucking lie. All right, you can't convince me that I'm not better than the best white man on the planet Earth. And the best white man on the planet Earth could be a Jake, but you can't convince me that Esau is better than me. I'm better than him in every way, every last one of them. All right, and I tell them that, like, I'm better than all you motherfuckers, and you know this shit. So when I was reading the slide, my friend sent me, and they just did it out of just, you know, just telling me how the day went. They're so brainwashed. You know, she don't fucking know, you know, she's a fucking woman. She don't know shit. But the spirit hopped on me. I'm like, yeah, well, damn. And they're teaching her in these classes that to think like this is a bad thing, you know? And this is a so-called Edomite woman, man. So even among their own people, they push that mediocre mindset, okay? Because they don't give a damn about the common Edomite. They don't care about their own people. So it says the attitude that one's group, ethnicity, or nationality is superior to others. And they teach you in the world that that's not good. You're supposed to accept everybody. I ain't got to accept nobody that don't accept Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Point blank, period. Okay? So it says, this is an example. It says, yet Remedy was ignored, the victim of ethnocentrism and snobbery. See, they demonize it. It's as though he became a citizen in 1857. The American-born artist cast him as a foreigner and resented his painting. All right? And these are just examples they use. What it says here, as Western powers barged into people's political and psychological worlds, a plethora of ethnocentrism gave way to Eurocentrism, you know, which is basically the pushing of this whitewashing bullshit that these devils have put on our people. Okay, because you can't ask Esau, do he believe he's equal to a nigga? He gonna tell you, no, I'm better than you. Or even if he don't tell you, he's gonna show you, you know. But it says, but nationalism and ethnocentrism run deep in both political cultures and could reignite long-standing territorial disputes. It says nativism and ethnocentrism and bigotry in high places on both sides of the Atlantic. Now, these are just basically examples, but that show you what Esau thinks about you tribes, man. All right. So it says ethnocentrism, evaluation of other cultures, which we do through the scriptures, according to preconceptions originating and the standards and customs of everyone's own culture. Okay, but ask an Arab or East Indian or a heathen, do they think they're better than black people? Yeah, they're going to say that. So that's a form of ethnocentrism. And they have a right to believe that, but we know that's not true. Okay, so let's see what the scriptures say about that. Deuteronomy 12, and I'm going to start at verses 2. It says, ye shall utterly destroy. Matter of fact, what is this? I think it's Deuteronomy 14. Yep. This is the book of Deuteronomy 14 and 2. It says, for thou art a holy people unto Yahweh thy power, and the Lord have chosen thee to be a peculiar people unto himself above all the nations that are upon the earth. Okay, and the Lord has given us the talents to display that, because I don't give a damn what you say. There would never be another Michael Jordan. There would never be an Edomite Michael Jordan. Okay, there would never be a Moabite Kobe Bryant. Okay, there'd never be an Ammonite LeBron James. There'll never be an East Indian Allen Iverson, man. Now, give and take, you do have notable basketball players among those ethnicities, but guess what? Those are Israelites, man. Okay, I saw this one video of this dude, I think he was from like Vietnam or some shit, I don't know, but they call him Lord Raiden. He had the straw hat on, and I mean, this dude was hitting shit behind the back. He crossing over, and he can dunk, and the nigga had ups. But he looks like he's from Vietnam some goddamn way. He looks like he's of the, which a lot of them Vietnamese are Israelites, man. Shit, hey, all them Jakes, your grandfathers that fought in Vietnam, hey, they left a lot of kids over there with them women, man. So a lot of them are Israelites, in fact. But I mean, when I say that this dude, he had handles, I mean, he looked like he could have been an N1, and this is a so-called Vietnamese dude. I'm talking about jumping out the gym. I'm like, that's a Jake, just the way he moved. I'm like, yeah, that's an Israelite right there. Can't be nothing more. Okay, because we are a special people until Yahweh Bashim and Hawashai. Okay, let's go to here, Deuteronomy 7 and 6, because we are the Lord's peculiar treasure, his jewels, man. Okay, so this is the book of Deuteronomy 7 and 6. It says, for thou art a holy people unto Yahweh thy power, and the Lord thy power have chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all the people that are upon the face of the earth. You see? So, case in point, the Lord had to reiterate that to us. Because being in this society, this captivity, you will forget that you're actually of the chosen bloodline. You will forget that you're actually a king, man, because they put the burdens of hell on you here. And that job is to totally wipe your mind clean and re-indoctrinate you with their philosophies, man. That's why when you go into Stoicism and Epicureanism, like, we're more Stoics. We have a simple life, we're straightforward, we go by a simple curriculum. We don't go too far left, too far right, we're right in the middle. Versus Epicureans is these people. They believe whatever they want, do as thou wilt, go as you please, accept everybody, love everybody. Don't ever say you better than anybody, never call a woman a bitch. All that folly, man, which that don't work. Because even in the midst of that, that's nothing but confusion, man. This is why the scriptures refer to this place as the great melting pot. But it says, for the Most High did not set his love upon you, nor choose you because you were the most in number than any people. It says, for you were the fewest of all people. So, I mean, think about it. The rarity of a jewel or a diamond is the rarity of like, let's just say you got rubies, right? You have more diamonds than rubies. You got more rubies than quartz. You got opal, smoky quartz. You got carnelians. You got carbuncle. You have crystallite, which is basically a diamond. You have jasper stones, all these things, emeralds. Those are precious metals. He called them precious for a reason, because they're few in number versus a diamond. A diamond is like, and there's levels to diamonds. Diamonds are very, they're notable. They're very, diamonds are special, but it's just the abundance, right? Just like with women. Women outnumber us 7-1. That's why they have a term called you're a dime a dozen. So you lose one, it's like, okay, what you all butt hurt over that? To the one you lose, that's 12 more that replace that. That's even better than her. You see? So they're not special in a sense that they're a rare commodity. They're in abundance, man. But the Lord, he's multiplied us. He's made us as the sand of the sea. But prior to that, no, sir. Okay, because I believe, 70 souls went down into Egypt. And then we came out, 70 souls went down into Egypt. And then we came out a great nation. Okay. But it says, because the Lord have loved you, and because because he will keep the oaths which he had sworn unto your fathers, had Yahweh brought you out with a mighty hand and redeemed you out of the house of bondage from the hand of the Pharaoh, king of Egypt, man. Okay. So yes, we are a very special people to the Lord. The Lord is very ethnocentric. Okay. So let's go to the book of Revelation 7, and we're going to get that word 7. And I'm going to start at verses. Matter of fact, let's go. Where am I at? Yep, let's go to Revelation 7 and 9. And it says, and this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and peoples and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed in white robes and palms in their hands. This is talking about the Israelites that was dispersed among all nations, man. The Israelite foreigners, if that make any sense, will come out looking like other nations. All right, but peep this. You go into the word nations, it should go into the Greek word ethnos. Where we at? Yep, ethnos, right? Which means a multitude, associated living together, a company, troop, or swarm, or multitudes of individuals of the same nature or genus. The human family. Okay, so you get the point. So yes, the Lord is very ethnocentric. You see, Amos 3. And I'm going to start at verses 1. It says, hear this word of the Lord have spoken against you, O children of Israel. And it reads, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore, I will punish you all for your iniquities. You see? So this is why we getting the brunt of the punishment, because, hey, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai set his love and care upon us. Okay? We're the chosen people of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Point blank, period. Okay? We're his precious jewels. All right? And it proves that in Lamentation, because the Lord, he didn't say the other nations were special unto him. But when you go into the book of Lamentations, the 2nd chapter, matter of fact, I think it's the 4th chapter, 4:1, and it reads, it says, how was the gold become dim? It says, how is the most fine gold changed? Called us fine gold, man. Okay, gold is very, very, very valuable, to say the least. Gold is more valuable than silver, okay, than palladium, than platinum. Gold is the creme de la creme. It says, and the stones of the sanctuary are poured out in the top of every street. The precious sons of Zion, comparable to fine gold. How are they esteemed as the earthen pitchers and the work of the hands of the potter? But he said the sons of Zion was comparable to fine gold, man. You know how the Lord looks at it? The Lord loves us, man. You know, and we have to really believe that in our mind. Like, yeah, I serve the Heavenly Father. I serve the God of the power of the universe. Can't nothing fuck with us, man. Unless Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai deem that the case. But we're the sons and daughters of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, man. And the Lord deals with his men. You don't get no better than that. So ethnocentrism is ultimately not a bad thing. It's righteous at the end of the day, because, hey, we do have the ability. The scriptures say we're going to boast in the forces of the Gentiles. Matter of fact, let me look that up real quick. Boast. Hold on. Boast themselves. Yup, bingo. Isaiah 61:6. And it reads, it says, but ye should be named the priests of Yahweh. Men should call you the ministers of our power. Ye should eat the riches of the Gentiles, and in their glory shall ye boast yourselves, man. Okay, we gonna boast in you devils. It says, for your shame you shall have double, and for your confusion they should rejoice in their portion. Therefore in the land they should possess the double, everlasting joy should be upon them. Okay, go into the word boast, see what it means. Priest goes to the Hebrew word kahan. Where we at? Boast. It goes into the Hebrew word yamar, which means to promise, to boast. Yep, to exchange, implication, change places, boast. Yeah, because it's a movie called Trading Places. You know, and when the top became the bottom became the top. We're gonna boast and beating your fucking ass, man. Period. Brag, possess. And when you go into the deep word of this, when it goes into to exchange, basically is going into changing places. Implication to change places. Both selves change, meaning that we're going to go from the bottom to the top, and you're going to go from the top to the bottom. So we're going to put you in captivity, and we're going to talk shit, and we're going to have your woman. Okay? Ain't nothing you devils can do about it. Brag, to possess. Talk with excessive pride and self-satisfaction about one's achievement, because it's going to be a great achievement on putting you damn devils in slavery and beating the shit out you for 1,000 years. You got to get more back into that too. And you other heathens, you Moabites, you Ammonites, you Ishmaelites, what's the other clowns, the weak man, the coolies, the Elamites, and you dusty ass Hamites. All of you are going in captivity, man. And we gonna boast and breaking every last one of you down. And your women gonna want to be with us. Now what? And it says, talk with excessive pride and self-satisfaction about one's achievement, possessions, or abilities of one person, place, thing, possess a feature that is the source of pride. Talk with excessive pride and self-satisfaction about one's achievement. Bingo. All right. Now we're gonna boast in Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. And the thing is, we can be proud over you heathens. We can lord over you, you know. But it just being prideful to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai and just having a sense of pride and entitlement and wickedness is off as hell. But when it comes to you heathens, I could be proud to Edomite. I ain't gotta respect that nigga. Fuck is he? You know. One last precept and I end it. second address. Is the second address 2? Maybe. Let's go here. I think this is second address 3. Yep, let's start at verses 30. Let's start at 32. Matter of fact, let's start at verses 31. It says, I do not remember how this way may be left. Are then they of Babylon better than they of Zion? Now, Esdras is asking, like, wait a minute, we your people, then how these heathens imputed nothing are reigning over us? Because he's questioning the fact, like, are they really better than us? Because he was under the impression that we're the Lord's people, we're his children. Okay? Actually, we're his children. We share the same bloodline with Yahushua. And it says, or is there any people that knoweth thee besides Israel? Or what generation have so believed thy covenants as Jacob? It says, and yet their reward appeared not, and their labor have no fruit. But it reads, for I have gone here and there through the heathen, and I see that they flow in wealth and think not upon thy commandments. And that's a form of ethnocentrism too, because in this statement, when you look at the heathens, they think they're better than Jake, man, even though subconsciously they know, but they really think they're better than us in all ways. Hell, our women gravitate to, our women love to be with them, you know, because there's a power thing. It's something called hypergamy. You know, women gravitate to what they deem to be powerful. And it says, weigh thou therefore our wickedness now in the balance, and there's also that dwell in the world, and so shall thy name nowhere be found but in Israel. When was there, it says, or when was it that they which dwelled upon the earth have not sinned in thy sight? Or what people have so kept thy commandments? And that's a question, because the heathens, they haven't kept the commandments. And the fact that the Lord gave us the commandments, that shows you that we're a special people, because it was up to us to teach the other nations this, to follow the ways of the Heavenly Father, man. We're supposed to be an example. It says they should find that Israel by name have kept thy precepts, but not the heathen. Okay, so going from here to Wisdom of Solomon, and this just Spirit brought it to me. This is Wisdom of Solomon 5. And I'm going to start at verses, let's start at verses 15. It says, but the righteous live forevermore, and their reward also is with the Lord, and the care of them is with the Most High. It says them, the elect. It says, therefore should they receive a glorious kingdom and a beautiful crown from the Lord's hand. It says, for with this, his right hand, he should cover them, and with his arm, he should protect them. Okay. So that's a special people right there, if you ask me. But anyway, I'm going to end it, giving all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Lord's will, you will edify to the next lesson. Shalom.